Just south of town, we're at the Wells Fargo Center, and Peter Forsberg is being honored tonight by the Flyers. Played 100 games for the Flyers. Of course, newly inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and spending so much of his career with the Colorado Avalanche, winning a couple of Stanley Cups there, and greeted by the two captains. And Chief, just a great player throughout his career.
He really was. He was a Flyer draft pick and was traded before he even came over here in that big Eric Lindros trade of the 80s. And finally ended up getting Peter back here, as you said, Rick, for 100 games at the tail end of his career. But a tremendous athlete, tremendous competitor. And boy, he played with an edge, too. Quiet edge. You didn't realize it. I think he was the guy that started that reverse check.
Now we're set for a national anthem sung by Lauren Hart.
Philadelphia Metro Recruiting Company, the #1 ranked activist in the NHL, our very own Lauren Hart, as she sings the Star Spangled Banner.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched, with so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's starting goaltenders delivered by Papa John's Pizza. And as we pointed out throughout pregame, Andrei Vasilevsky will get his very first start of the National Hockey League. You see what he's done in Syracuse in 14 games that he's played. And he was the player of the week in the AHL last week. And Steve Mason gets the nod. He's 6'9" and 4 in the 20 games that he's played. And .260, .918 save percentage.
Mason, a former goaltending phenom. Early in his career, John Cooper warming up in the bullpen there. He's the head coach of the Lightning. And Craig Berube, you've known him for a long time, Chief, with his long association with the Flyers.
Yeah, his nickname's Chief, too, but he's a junior.
The officials tonight. We got Brad Watson, who is going to handle the opening faceoff. Dean Morton working with him. Greg Dvorsky, Derek Nansen, the linesman, as we get set to start here, Chief. Vasilevsky, what are his thoughts early on in English?
Well, he wants that first shot. He says, I want to make sure I make that first save.
Now Mason out to play that puck. He'll send it back up the boards. Brendan Morrow opening this game with Brett Conley and Brian Boyle. And it's Jason Garrison paired with Matt Carl defensively, as the Lightning still without Radko Gudas and Andre Palat, as Palat battling a lower body injury and was expected to play at some point on this trip. And Radko Gudas with a stomach virus, and he's missing his third game, as the puck held in that zone by Conley. Shovels it now to Boyle. He turns, throws it back to the corner. And taken over by Luke Schenn of Philadelphia, getting it up the boards. Holding it in was Garrison, though. Excellent first shift for the Lightning. They had a couple of great shifts to start in Pittsburgh last night, Chief.
Yeah, this is what they talked about. We talked about it in our pregame, too, Rick. One of the keys is you got to be hard on the puck. And if you play in the Philadelphia zone much of the time, you can really force them into a lot of mistakes. They don't move the puck real quickly, and they don't skate real fast either, the defense for Philly.
Puck comes back to the side of the goal, and Carl will play it up the boards. Nick Schultz pinching in to get bumped by Valtteri Filppula. There's that first shot, and Vasilevsky making a save. As the Lightning trying to work it out of the zone, and they do, and Schultz right there. Schultz, big part of this 5-game point streak. He's had back-to-back +3 games on the Philly defense. They've been looking for some consistency back there since, of course, Kimmo Timonen out with the blood clots and on long-term injury, and perhaps his career done.
He actually brought him as the 7th defenseman, but he's worked his way probably to the top 4, excuse me.
Chris Damon joining us between the benches. Kind of a quiet start to things here.
Yeah, quiet start, but that's what you want if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. You want a simple game, get it in early, get it in deep, and cycle the puck like they were doing. So that's what you want to do. You want a nice, quiet, simple game on the road.
Flyers will try and really take the body tonight, as most teams have done. Lightning got to move it quickly.
Jonathan Drouin picking up a goal last night. Power play goal, spins, finds Stamkos cutting to the net just out of his reach. And Drouin had an opportunity to move in toward the net himself, but looking for the captain on that one as Drouin playing quite a bit in that third period on left wing with Stamkos at center and Ryan Callahan on the right wing, and that's how they start this game. The errant pass carries in deep, will get an icing called against the Lightning.
Well, let's take a look at the guys that are not in uniform tonight for both clubs. You see Palat and Gudas still on the sidelines. Palat with a lower body injury. Gudas still hasn't recovered from that stomach virus. And Bishop with a lower body injury. Flyers have, as you pointed out, Rick, Timonen out. And he's a big hole for them. Moves that puck well.
Vinny Lecavalier missing his 7th consecutive game as a healthy scratch. They've even said he's got a lower body injury, but you don't know the veracity of that. A save by Vasilevsky as he came out on that shot, Chief.
Yeah, he's going to play above the paint. I watched him, Rick, in the rookie camp as well as at training camp, and he's a big body, 6'3", so he'll cover a lot of the net, and he's very aggressive and he's very strong on that angle. He'll get out there and play. He doesn't play deep in his net.
Perfect first shot for a young goaltender also.
Yeah, it is.
Cedric Paquette facing off against Pierre-Edouard Bellemare as the puck played out by Alex Killorn. Zach Rinaldo dumps it in, and Vasilevsky out to play that puck. Let's check out his puck handling here. That's always a question with young goalies, particularly from Russia, where in the KHL they don't get to handle it much.
No, there's too much room back there. You can't get out there and back in quickly enough.
Bellemare playing that puck in. Jason Garrison sending it back up the boards. Garrison finds an outlet in Paquette. Killorn, lead pass right on the tape. J.T. Brown speeds in, fires, and he sends it wide. Killorn playing it back down the boards. Andrew McDonald there defensively for Philadelphia, as well as Bellemare. Killorn involved. Paquette works it free. Carl had made a move toward the middle of the ice. He'll come to center of the puck. Mark Barberio seeing action in his 3rd consecutive game with Gudas on the sidelines. Puck played now for Mark Streit, the veteran defenseman. His pass taken over by Brett Conley. This is the unit on for the Lightning that got things started. The puck loose around the net. The shot by Boyle is stopped by Mason. Still loose in the goal mouth, and it's pried loose. And the Flyers, Scott Laughton getting to it.
Well, it looked like they had the open side there, didn't they, for their first goal?
Shot by Laughton is stopped by Vasilevsky. Interesting matchup there. Vasilevsky, the 19th pick in the first round of 2012. The 20th selection was Scott Laughton. Here's a drive that missed the net past the glove of Vasilevsky. Flyers get there in time to hold it in. Braden Shen marching to the front. His centering pass is stolen by Carl. Nicholas Grossman uses the boards, working it now to Jakub Voracek. Tied for 2nd in the scoring race, as we showed you in Lightning Live pregame. Anton Strawman hounded in there by Voracek. It was a high pick in 2007, but Chief, he just seems to be finding a stride now.
Yeah, he does. It takes a while sometimes. All of a sudden, the light goes on.
Side of the goal, Victor Hedman centers in front. Johnson shoots, hits the post. Michael Raffl has it back. 2 great chances around the Philadelphia net. Not unlike what happened to the Lightning in Pittsburgh last night, that Marc-Andre Fleury was the biggest obstacle they had to deal with. He came up with a couple of circus saves in that first period. Mason getting some help from the post on this last opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've been getting to the net well. This is what we talked about, getting in front of it. And there's the backhand by Johnson right off the post. You can hear that ping, too. When you hear the clunks, that's when they go in. The pings, they never go in.
Ping is the sound of a goaltender's ears, and you see the Lightning just doing a good job putting the puck on net and not trying to shoot too hard. And sometimes when you try and fire it too hard, the rebound's going to come out really hot, and you just throw it on net and create some opportunities. That Boyline's done a little bit of that, and Tyler Johnson is doing a good job of that there in his line, guys.
Shots 3-1 favoring the Lightning, and you don't even count that shot off the post as we hit the 5-minute mark of this first period. Stamkos working along the boards there with Matt Reed. He's going to see a lot of a line centered by Sean Couturier with R.J. Umberger and Reed on the wings. And lately they've been providing Craig Berube with a little offense. Secondary scoring has really been a problem most of the season for Philadelphia. They've been relying heavily on Giroux, Voracek, and Wayne Simmons has been their big goal scorer. Puck played ahead off the stick of Callahan to center. McDonald. He was injured the last time the Lightning and Flyers met in late October. He's got the puck right now.
Yeah, Couturier's been mainly their shutdown center, but he wants to be, obviously when you're a high first-round pick, most young guys really want to be that goal scorer as well.
And he brings a 6-game point streak into this game tonight, so the Stamkos line has got to be aware defensively against them as well as try to work offensively. Vandevelde with a pass to the open boards. It's chopped to center. Knocked down by Carl at the line. And Carl's got it under control. Harrison's pass knocked down. Pardon me, Barberio will play it out through center. And Nick Schultz has it back. Knocked free by Carl. Helped out by Brown. And behind to Barberio. He saw Simmons coming. Killorn gets it out to center. Schultz comes across for it. On pass ahead for Lawton, and Simmons goes down. Puck underneath him. Hedman got it loose, and Boyle shovels it ahead. Here comes Brett Conley. Strike takes over, spun it around for his veteran partner, Nicholas Grossman. They give it up. Conley steals, shoots. He hits the other post. Well, the Lightning in all sorts of bad luck in their last few first periods. As the puck comes back to Vasilevsky, he'll keep it moving.
How about that? Calmness.
I was going to say this. It looked like he probably surprised Hedman more than anybody.
He looked like he was going to cover it. He said, oh, I'm just going to slide it over to you. I like that from a young goaltender, but the Lightning doing a good job early. Guys putting pucks on net and keeping it simple.
Giroux with a shot and a save by Vasilevsky as Giroux kind of shanked it. Fed in front. Giroux with a shot. Another save by Vasilevsky, and Giroux didn't shank that one. In front. Raffle shooting. Save by Vasilevsky. Schultz has it. Feeds it down the boards. Voracek getting to it. Chased off the puck by Garrison. He'll take it. Out for Nikita Kucherov now. He's got Valtteri Filppula with him as he cuts in. Deals at the shot. Saved by Mason on Tyler Johnson.
Well, I tell you what, they left the front of that net open quite a bit. We haven't seen that for a while.
Sparkling plays at both ends of the ice for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but no score.
They're scoreless. 5 shots on goal by the Flyers so far, and some of them were really good scoring chances. Watch Vasilevsky hitting those long legs across there, and he's been very good at getting from side to side. There's one from the slot right here. There was a redirect right away very quickly, and Vasilevsky got in position and made the big save. Again, the wraparounds, and he gets over there very quickly. Of course, it helps when your leg's already there before you move over.
Covers the whole bottom of that net when he does both pads down, showing great lateral movement.
Dave Andrechuk and I hosting Lightning Hockey Night on radio on 620 WDAE a couple of weeks ago. Had Rob Zettler, head coach of the Crunch, on, and we were talking about the state of their goaltending with Krister Skudlevsky's not having a great start. Vasilevsky still finding his way, and Rob felt that he was still making the conversion as a save there by Mason on Stamkos on adjusting from the KHL, the huge ice surface there, to playing not only in North America, but as Franz Jean said this morning, the rink in Syracuse is smaller than the regulation in the NHL. It's a smaller rink, so he's really got a lot of things to deal with there to adjust to, and right after that he's been on fire. Here's a shot that's blocked. Ronaldo couldn't get it on goal. Vasilevsky's won 7 of his last 8 games for the Crunch. Matt Reed with a shot, a save by Vasilevsky. As Ronaldo taken to the boards by Tyler Johnson. Flyer fourth line on. Johnson with a pass. It will leave the zone. Luke Schenn is there, and he'll drive it back in. Carl. Off the stick of Filppula, controlled now by Van de Velde. Out ahead for Filppula. In for Kucherov. Schenn right with him. Puck left now for Schuster. Bouncing one in front just by Tyler Johnson's stick. Played back for Tyler Johnson. Johnson hitting one post. And Conley hitting the other. Steve Mason taking a roll call on his friends. And they both are here and accounted for, the 2 goal posts. We got a penalty upcoming here against Philadelphia. A call at 9:33. The Lightning get the first power play.
Luke Schenn's going to get a high sticking call. He got Kucherov in the mouth.
Philadelphia, number 22, 2 minutes, roughing.
Oh, he's calling it roughing this time, but when he went in there to get the play, he got the... It looked like he got a stick out there, just in front of the net when the play was going around the net, but 9:33, as you see, there it is there. And let me get the first power play.
Toyota power play opportunity for the Lightning, who were 1 of 3 last night at Pittsburgh. Drouin getting the goal. Callahan on with Stamkos and Conley. Filppula and Hedman man the points. Stamkos trailed up top there by Matt Reed. Into Callahan. Back to Stamkos. Hedman has to back it out as he's harried there by Reed.
Got to start moving the puck a little quicker. They're standing there and they're killing the penalty for the penalty killers.
Conley's pass played back by Braden Coburn out through center, and the Lightning forced to regroup. 30 seconds gone to the penalty. Filppula double team. Hedman takes it. In off Stamkos' stick. Grossman trying to get to it. And he backhands it down the ice.
And Steve, you mentioned moving the puck a little quicker. And if you want to carry the puck into the offensive zone, you got to get to at least the top of the circles if you're going to release the puck to the side. Otherwise, the penalty killers are right on top of you.
Johnson.
Flyers penalty kill isn't that strong, and overall it's 74%. It's better at home, but
Strawman shooting. That's blocked. He'll get it back to Johnson. Filppula in the slot, side of the goal. It's Killorn. Drouin on the far side. Johnson closing in. His pass out of the reach of Killorn. Drouin after it. 38 seconds to go in the penalty. Johnson feeding it, and it was anticipated there by Grossman. Flyers get control, but they can't clear. Strawman has it. Continues in deep. Hands it off to Johnson. Back up to Drouin with 23 seconds to go on the call against Luke Schenn. Pass intended for Filppula was tipped away. Strawman getting it. Slides it across out of the reach of Drouin. And McDonald checked into the boards by Killorn. Flyers come up with it, and it's cleared down the ice.
that's not acceptable. You don't even get a shot. They actually killed the penalty for Philadelphia.
It's a shame with the way the Lightning have started with zone time and some pressure and a couple of goalposts holding them off. And Mason really, with a couple of stops, it's all he had to do so far. But the Lightning, let's see if they can regain the momentum as Mason gloves the puck. He'll hang on. 8:11 to go in a scoreless first period here in Philly.
They're still scoreless here in the first period in Philadelphia. Let's take a look at tonight's Buick big matchup. As you see, the goal leader since 08-09 versus the Flyers. Steven Stamkos the most. Ryan Callahan, the other bookend. And you see in the middle, Elias of the Jersey Devils, Mexican from Washington, and of course Crosby from Pittsburgh. And you see the two guys there that have scored a lot of goals against this club. Of course, with Callahan, he's played a lot of games against this team with the Rangers.
as his former Ranger teammate Brian Boyle has as well. He controls the face-off to Schuster. Wright can't pick up the puck. Conley hands it to Morrow. Conley involved as well. Morrow has it. Fires to the point, out of the reach of Garrison, all the way back to Vasilevsky. He'll set it up for Schuster, leaving it on the board. Giroux right there with Voracek. Raffles the third member of this scoring line. And a good play by Conley to get a skate on that pass. He now gets the puck back again. Met by Luke Schenn in a solid hit. Giroux picks up the puck. Outlet knocked down by Morrow. Carl, quick shoot. And a save there by Mason. He'll hang on to it with traffic around that Flyer net.
Well, let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by your Southern Ford dealers. And hard on the puck is going to be important. Get on that puck, get on them in their end very quickly. As we've said earlier, their defense isn't as quickly. They don't move it as fast. The second shots is imperative. You've got to get to the net. You've got to get those rebound opportunities. Lightning had a bunch of chances on rebounds the last couple of games and failed to capitalize on them. Tonight, you got to make sure you do.
Brian Boyle's line has been hard on the puck thus far, creating some turnovers, guys.
Yeah.
Drouin circles the net, out for Barberio. In behind to Callahan with Stamkos in front. Manned up there with Coburn. Here's a drive. It hits Stamkos in front. Drouin with a shot, and that was deflected away.
That was a kick save by Schultz in defense.
Umberger goes down to the corner at the other end as Mason getting all sorts of help, not just his best friends, the posts.
Great read by Mark Barberio, jumping down, seeing that Ryan Callahan had full control of that.
Well, talking to another number of people from the Lightning, George Kwazdecki, assistant coach as well, and he was saying they're getting the chances. They just got to keep banging and banging at them, and once again, that's evident here in the first period.
Well, look at this. They had it wide open. Drouin makes a great move to the middle, and then he takes the shot, and Schultz got his left leg out on it. But I'll tell you what, he played a lot of street hockey in his youth, didn't he, Chris?
Oh, definitely. That's old school right there.
And now we got Killorn and Simmons separated by the linesman on this lineup at center ice on the faceoff. Tell you what, we could put together a top 10 list of great saves by non-goaltenders this year with Anton Stralman. Victor Hedman's made a couple.
Yeah.
Throw that one in the mix.
Radko Gudas. He had a two-pad stack, didn't he, or a butterfly earlier in the season? Open your goaltender out any way you can, guys.
Simmons is going to go.
Simmons dumped Killorn. They never could get settled down, and as the Lightning sent the puck toward the Flyer zone, Killorn got yanked to the ice, and Simmons heads off at 13-17.
They were talking to these guys all throughout that face-off, constantly, and they were warning him twice, and whoever was the first guy to do something a little bit on the edge, he was going to go, and that was Simmons. Lightning will get their second power play. They got to be a little bit better than they did on the first.
Yeah, move around, get shots on net. Simmons trying to change the momentum a little bit, but a little too carried away.
Well, it was the second unit that scored the goal last night. It's the second unit that will start this second power play chance. Stralman. Killorn from center. He'll play it to the corner. Speed in after Schultz. It's angled right back to Johnson. He couldn't get there in time. Neither could Stralman to keep it in the zone. Lightning 2 of 5 on the power play against Philadelphia in the earlier meeting at Amalie Arena, October 30th. The Lightning winning that game 4-3. Jason Garrison, one of those power play goals. It was a game winner in the third period. Stamkos 2 goals and an assist. Filppula 3 assists in that game. Coburn checked by Kucherov in the corner. Killorn got it free. Taken back by Drouin. Couldn't complete that tricky stick handling move against Couturier, and it's cleared out.
Well, a couple of things, guys. When you're dumping it in, you got to make sure you're going to rim it hard or get a cross dump so the goaltender can't play it. And then just a little bit too fancy by the youngster Drouin, too close to the blue line.
Hedman dropping it off for Filppula. Lightning coming in at Exactly 22%, and their percentage 9th best in the NHL. Lawton, the youngster, trying to get to that puck. It's held in by the Lightning. Comes out in front, and it's cleared down the ice by Umberger.
You got to match the intensity of the penalty kill, and right now I haven't seen it in 2 power plays. You got to match the work ethic. The penalty killers are going to come out and work hard. You got to match that.
Filppula's pass deflects to the corner. Conley after it. As Chief noted, Flyers only at 74%, 29th in the penalty-killing rankings. Conley with the shot. That's blocked. And it's put on goal. Mason, a save on Hedman. He can't believe it. The force field holding the Lightning out of the opposing net just keeps getting a little bit bigger and harder to beat.
Wow, again, another wide-open net appeared there, and you had a good angle on it, Chris. It looked like Hedman kind of just shoveled it there. Didn't shoot it as hard as you might have been able to.
No, a little more like it, trying to simplify. Connolly taking the shot, and puck going right to Hedman, and the puck's been bouncing a little bit. As we know, towards the end of the periods, there's a lot more snow accumulated on the ice, and just try to put the puck on net, but you have a goaltender that's in the zone, so to speak. His post at bottom of a couple free ones.
Simmons out of the box. That was the only shot the Lightning have had on the 2 power plays so far. As we continue scoreless, the shot 7-6 Philly with 4.5 to play in the first period. Ronaldo trying to get to the puck. He bumps there with Brown. Boyle's involved with McDonald. And Brown steps in front of Ronaldo. Spun around. Morrow forces his way to the middle of the action, as he often does. Boyle, while falling down, centers, deflected back on Mason. He covers the puck as Ronaldo and Brown took their tussle to the Flyer goal mouth. No score here in Philly. Here's tonight's great moment in hockey history, brought to you by Geico. On this day in 1992, the Lightning's first season, Tampa Bay's John Tucker scored twice, including the game winner. The Lightning won 5-4 in overtime at San Jose. John Tucker had 14 shots on goal. That's a club record. Steven Stamkos not far off of that, Chief.
No, he had 12. 14 shots on goal. I remember Tuck doing that. Every time he got the puck, it was going to the net.
Stammer with 12 shots and a hat trick against Montreal this year. Brad Richards also 12 shots in a game. But John Tucker with 14 and a couple of goals. Puck played by Mason. Knocked down by Johnson. Getting it to Kucherov. They work with Filppula now on the left side. And it's deflected out by Raffl. Barberio turns the net, pursued by Voracek. Lost the puck at center, and you get quite the dive there by Raffl. No call either way. And Coburn surprised there by Filppula. Steals the puck, walks in front, tried to hand it off. And Voracek brings it back to center. Another close call for that line. And Johnson gets the lead pass, cuts in, fires, and it's snared by Mason, who catches with that right hand. The new Tampa Bay Lightning app is finally here and available for download. Get breaking news first, special offers, discounts, seat upgrades, contests, and expand your social interaction with the team.
I'll tell you what, they want to get the penalty power play in Philadelphia. Their power play is really strong. It's first at home in the league at 29.4%.
Umberger turns back for the puck. Makes a pass ahead for Matt Reed. Reed trying to lose Drouin. Couturier shielded off by Strawman, but Reed right there. He's bumped by Drouin. Reed turns, finds Umberger, and the puck taken away by Stamkos. The lead out for Callahan. Stamkos shoots it in. Tipped by Mason. Grossman tried to reverse. Stamkos arrives with Callahan. Callahan pinned there against the boards by Big Grossman, who goes 235. It's played up the boards, and Strawman pinching in against Couturier. Over for Umberger. Hedman tried to save the play. Taken over by Streit, though, and he'll send it back to Reed. Broken up by Strawman. and Strite will pick it up.
Those are the kind of shifts that really pay off later in the game.
Lightning able to change. They get Killorn on with Paquette and Brown as Paquette will steer the play in. Strite sends it to center. Garrison controls it. Leaving it. Simmons right there. And he had his pocket picked by Brown. Taken over, though, by Braden Shen. 2 years younger than Luke, his brother. Here's Simmons winding, firing, and it's deflected away by Garrison, who broke his stick on the play. Schuster angled it back, not knowing Garrison was without a stick. Played back, though, to Schuster. Brown hoists one to center. 1:35 to go in a scoreless first period. Lightning have had the only 2 opportunities in the power play. Simmons room, fires, and it's blocked by Garrison again. Deflected out of play. Stay tuned for the Gulf Coast Honda dealers first intermission report. Chris Stigman will be visiting with Jonathan Drouin. We'll present a feature on Nikita Kucherov. He's really on a roll, talking about his maturation as a player, highlights and stats. And Kuch, fortunately, has some teammates helping him out explaining that sheet. His English is coming along.
He really has been. I mean, his English is very good. You know, he gets very nervous about it. He's a little self-conscious about it, but he's doing a tremendous job.
It's always a lot better than you think, guys. Played with a few Russian players, and
yeah,
they understood when it was good, when it was bad. They don't understand.
Yeah.
He's a good young kid, hard worker.
Sometimes when that camera light goes on, a lot of people freeze up. Boy,
guys that speak English as their natural language freeze up.
Voracek, dangerous pass, but he knew Giroux was there. That's the kind of communication they've had. As Giroux sets up in the zone, lobs it in front, saved by Vasilevsky. Stopped the rebound try by Schultz. Lightning penalty upcoming. Off that scramble in front. With just under a minute to go in this opening period, Philadelphia will get its first power play.
Looks like it's going to be more.
Number 10, Hook.
Hooking will be the call. That looked like a very innocent play. It was kind of rolled onto Vasilevsky. Couldn't handle that rebound, and Flyers were very quick to fall onto it and couldn't get a hold of it. Schultz in there deep.
Off the faceoff, Flyers get control. Braden Shen handing it to Strite. And Giroux looking for Simmons. He's got 7 power play goals, among the leaders in the NHL. 8's the top number right now. The shot, they score! And Simmons perhaps tipped it in front of Vasilevsky with 40.4 to play here in this first period.
I think it's right in, straight in off the straight. I think it hit the goal post as you take the shot, but it comes right through. Leaned it back, here it comes right there. Maybe he was, but it looked like it came right off the goal post, but Simmons in front. One shot, one goal. How simple is that? You shoot the puck, you score.
Established in zone time, and tough to see when you're getting screened and the puck gets redirected also.
Now, despite all the work the Lightning have had and the bad luck at the other end, they trail here 1-0 late in the period. They responded 22 seconds after the game-opening goal in Pittsburgh to tie the game at 1 on the Drouin power play goal before the intermission. But for Philly, they open the scoring for the 6th consecutive game. Couturier fires it out to Grossman, angles it off the boards, came in front and deflected on Vasilevsky just wide of the net behind him. Simmons does get the goal. Here's a shot deflected away by Umberger, and the horn sounds as Philadelphia getting the lead and gaining some momentum. Andrei Vasilevsky acquitting himself well in stopping 9 of 10 Flyers shots in that first period. Wayne Simmons from Strite and Giroux, the scoring play at 19-19. The only goal of this game thus far. Tonight's Lightning broadcast on Sun Sports is presented by your Tampa Bay area BMW Center. Little bubble hockey going on here at the Wells Fargo Center. Those two young Flyer fans getting ready for the second period, as we are as well, as we have a look at our chase review from period 1.
Well, you see there the shots on goal and scoring chances fairly even. Philadelphia in the slight lead, but the power play 1-for-1, as we pointed out, they have the #1 power play in the league at home at 29.4%. Face-off circle, though, Philadelphia a large edge there. 65% of the draws taken in the first period were won by the team in orange.
Chris Stigman joining us between the benches. And Chris, okay, let's go back to the Washington game. Better start for the team. Didn't catch a break there. You know, the last game last night, even better start. They're 1-1 after one. Now tonight, the joke's over. They had a real good start and weren't rewarded.
Something that you just got to tell yourself. You got to continue to play the same way you have, and eventually those breaks will come your way. And you see it a lot throughout the season when things are going away. You get those bounces. When they're not going forward. And for the Lightning, hit a couple posts, had some good chances. Just stick with what they were doing early in that first period.
Character building experience for this team and trying to break out of a 4-loss in 5-game stretch and get things turned around. But as we pointed out in the open, Chief, the good news is they're still tied with Detroit at 41 points, first place in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, they're going to go through ups and downs, and right now they're not getting the breaks like they did before. Before, everything was going in very cleanly. Anytime they had an open shot, it was scored. This time now, as we saw today, they've hit in 2 posts. 2 defensemen have made saves when the goalie was out of the net. So the bounces aren't their way right now. And you got to keep working, as Chris pointed out. And the harder you work, the more the bounces will come back. They'll come back sooner.
Flyers will slide the puck down the ice. We'll get an icing called here against Philadelphia. Jason Garrison back for that puck. Let's have a look at the conference standings, and the Lightning right near the top. Team that beat them last night on top by a couple of points.
Yeah, exactly. The Lightning, a couple of games have been stuck right around that 41-point thing level, and still got this game to go, and a couple of tough ones on the weekend.
Drouin working with Callahan and Stamkos. Callahan works against Schenn. They got a couple of 230-pound defensemen, Schenn and Grossman. Of course, Philly's always had the big team, but as Chief points out, not the quickest defensive unit if the Lightning can get that going. Reed meets up with Stralman. Drouin follows up, and Stamkos swings by for the puck.
Yeah, this is the line that has to get going for the Lightning. Stamkos and Callahan.
Couturier in a good spot to steal that pass. Swings in, and he's forced wide of the net. Tried to pop it in front. It's blocked by Hedman. Working with Drouin, sliding it to the point, but Coburn right there. Another big defenseman. Around for Schultz. Stralman double teamed in the corner. Couturier with it. And behind the net, centers out in front, and it's just tapped away. Reed retrieves the puck for Philadelphia. We mentioned they like the offense they're starting to get from this crew, but defense primarily the job against the Stamkos crew, and they had an excellent shift. Here's Stamkos. Shoots! Scores! He fires it over the shoulder of Mason and in. As the Flyers had changed, the Lightning had not yet done so, and Stamkos rockets it home. His 18th goal.
That's absolutely sick. That shot. I mean, well, he takes one quick shot, and it was in the back of the net before the goaltender could even move. Steve Mason had no shot on that short side top shelf. Chris, you had a great angle on it.
Jonathan Drouin doing a good job backing off the Flyers defenders and cuts in the middle and drops it for Stammer. You give him that much time in the slot, as you touched on. It hits the back of the net or the bar before you even move.
Here come the Lightning again. Paquette shoots, and it's just deflected over the net by Grossman. Stamkos 2 goals and an assist in that earlier meeting with Philadelphia. Adds another one here. And Stamkos now 17 career goals in 22 games against Philadelphia. Drouin and Callahan, his line mates, get the assists on this one. The goal at 150.
What was I just saying? We had to get that line going.
They heard you.
You just got to listen to you, Chief. Pass ahead to Killorn. Taken over by Strite at the flyer line. Barberio has Vandevelde to deal with. Carl back for it. Gets it across to Barberio. Ahead for Killorn, held in by Luke Schenn. His shot missed the net. He was looking for a friendly stick in front. Raffl shoved off the puck by Carl. Paquette goes for a skate. Lightning trying to get it out. Good play by Giroux to hold it in along with McDonald. But Carl skates to the center, lifts it ahead, punched ahead by Giroux. Paquette reaching for it. And they slide it in towards Steve Mason, former Calder Trophy winner with the Columbus Blue Jackets. We talked about his early success in his career. Never able to get back to that level again. The Blue Jackets eventually moved him on to Philadelphia. And he has settled in here, Chief.
Yeah, he has. You know what? I mean, you play with a guy like Giroux, though, you're going to have a lot of chances to score.
Here's a drive, and it's settled on that. And Voracek after it there. He's spun around by Johnson. Filppula involved. Played back of the point. Coburn looks, fires, deflected just wide. Plenty of Lightning traffic in that slot area. They retrieve the puck. Back out to the point to Coburn. Shoots again. Johnson blocked that. Filppula reaching for it. Coburn stick one out. Kucherov lobs it back through the center ice zone. Lightning want to get a change started. Coburn with a pass. Brayden Schenn had to reach back for it. And he hits a man coming late. It's dropped now. Here's the shot. A save by Vasilevsky on Scott Laughton along the boards. And taken now by Drouin. And he gets tripped up by Brayden Schenn, who stuck the leg out on him. Penalty upcoming to Philadelphia. And Drouin okay as he's rejoined the play. Now we get Simmons involved. Stamkos, Garrison, and Callahan in the middle of things as Callahan tried to answer that hit by Brayden Schenn in the center ice area. But Drouin popped right back up.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's so quick. He just stick out that knee right away. Well, I'll tell you, that used to be a pretty bad penalty a couple years ago.
2 minutes, tripping.
But now it's only a 2-minute. Look at that. You stick that knee right out there. Boy, that's knee to knee. That's dangerous. You can end a guy's career on that kind of a play.
Coming in for the head, and it's a natural reaction sometimes to stick your leg out, and it's not like you're trying to hurt him, but as you touched on, very, very dangerous play. For Drouin, no worse for the wear. It seems to be okay, and the Lightning have to have a better power play here, guys, than they did in the first period.
Yeah, they've got to start getting some shots on. You can't just move it around the perimeter and just hope that something's going to happen. You move it quickly, and you get that four-man unit out there moving, then you'll get some openings. You stand with the puck, and nothing happens.
One shot on the first two opportunities. Filppula held up by Reed at the line. Reed on a steal. He's joined by Couturier, who's got the only Flyers shorthanded goal this year. I believe they had 8 last year. Here comes Conley playing it into Drouin. Back for Conley. He's checked by Grossman. Flyers get it out.
Entries are so important, guys. If you're going to pass the puck off to the guy on the boards, you got to make sure you get deeper into the zone, and you need to have 2 or 3 guys on the puck.
Drouin shifting into that zone. Stamkos plays it back, and it's tipped out by Luke Schenn, trying to kill his brother's penalty.
Way too fancy on this power play. You've got to play a little bit more intense, and you've got to make sure you get the puck in. They're curling up at the blue line. As you pointed out, Chris, you've got to get a little deeper before you curl up.
Now Johnson trying to play it in. It's deflected out of play. 45 seconds remaining on the tripping call to Brayden Schenn.
I think if you're Lightning, something you want to do is maybe don't be so stubborn and dump the puck. Rim the puck around, have 2-3 guys go to that side. Flyers are doing a pretty good job of reading that they want to carry it in and jumping on that guy as soon as they release the puck to the boards.
One of the things, though, they're not sure what's going to happen at the blue line, so you can't be ready to go. If you're dumping it, you got to make sure you're on there quickly, and it's half the time when the guy with the puck's not sure what he's going to do with it, which really makes the guys that are waiting for something to happen unsure as well.
Vasilevsky's faced one shot here in this second period as he handles the puck to get things started. Hedman moving it to Alex Killorn. 25 seconds to go in the Lightning power play. Puck skips over Mason's stick. Raffl couldn't get the puck out of the zone. Kucherov gets it back to Hedman. 2 men in front, Callahan and Killorn. Working now to Kucherov, to Johnson, closing and shoots, directed on goal by Killorn. A save by Mason with his left arm. Hedman has it. He looks for room. Johnson, quick movement. Kucherov back to Johnson off his stick. And Braden Shen out of the box. They've killed a penalty. Kucherov winds, fires, and Johnson shoots. He scores! He punched it in on the rebound. And the Lightning have taken the lead. A couple of goals here in the second period.
I'll tell you what, Kucherov made that whole play happen. Made the whole part of the last part of the power play and then the first part when they came out. He made some really nice heads-up plays. Watch this goal. This is a high pass in the middle. It hit Callahan on the skate right to Johnson, and it was in. Well, the Lightning take the lead here. They finally get a break, but it was after the power play was over.
A good puck movement up, back, and over. And Kucherov, to be honest with you, he could have taken 2 shots on that weak side, but showing his ability to pass and or shoot the puck in the shot pass we saw.
He had a couple of those last night, and he does have that ability to drive you nuts. Why didn't he shoot the puck there? Then he comes up with a better option, or the play ends up in the net anyway. Here's Morrow firing, and it's deflected away by McDonald.
He's one of those skilled players. They're so frustrating, but yet they're so rewarding because you're like, shoot the puck or just do this, and then all of a sudden they make a brilliant play like that. Great a goal.
Garrison leaps to settle the puck down in the zone. Here's Morrow. Checked by Luke Shen. It's tapped behind the net. Van de Velde getting to it. Turns away from Brian Boyle. Morrow with a shoulder check on McDonald. Shen back for it.
I tell you what, you're right, Chris, about that Boyle-Morrow line and Conley. They take the body. They come up with the puck more often than anybody because of that fact. They're not killing guys, but they're just taking them out, eliminating them from the play.
Something that third or fourth line we'll talk about is, listen, I'm getting it, I'm chipping it down the boards, you go get it. Use the hash marks as your reference. If you get there and you don't have a play, you're putting it back down and or putting it to the net, and they've simplified their game and creating good opportunities in zone time.
Lightning forced to center here as they really have been able to settle in that Flyer zone in the second period. Johnson scoring his 10th from Kucherov and Callahan at 6:34. And about 4:40 or so after the tying goal scored by Stamkos. Simmons couldn't control the puck. Killorn gets to it. Surrounded by orange jerseys, he'll send it wide of the goal. Stamkos following up, throws a shoulder hit into Simmons. Callahan battling in the corner. Laying it out to Stroman. Lets the shot go. That was tipped. And Stamkos after it. Leaving it for Drouin. Trying to spin in front. Fires across. Stroman shooting. Saved by Mason. And he stopped the rebound as well. What a pass by Jonathan Drouin.
What great vision.
He finds Hedman. Keeps it on the line. Skims it wide. Callahan getting to it. And a swing out in front. Got it in front, and it was stopped by Mason on a quick wraparound on the backhand by Ryan Callahan. Looking for a career goal number 150. Both teams changing. Is past the 9-minute mark here in the second period. Puck knocked down with a high stick by Umberger, and his teammate the next to control. Kucherov got checked there by Coburn. That brings everybody over. Matt Reed involved along the boards with Tyler Johnson. And the officials calm everybody down with 10:50 to go in the second period. Stamkos scores his 18th. Tyler Johnson not far behind with his 10th.
by 1. Let's take a look at tonight's Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And the Cold Hard Fact is this: most points by players 21 and younger this season. As you say there, Nikita Kucherov and Philip Forsberg are tied for the lead at 29. Both of them, while Nikita, a year older. Johnny Hockey, as they call him, is up there as well. But this guy is really becoming a tremendous player. As you point out, he can be maddening, but man, does he ever see that open man. You better be ready to kick a pass at all times.
John Cooper talked about how he wants Steven Stamkos to be a little more selfish and shoot the puck more. Well, he went out on Nikita Kucherov a little bit, too.
Chief, you must be really thirsty because you really leaned on that last Coors Light read. Now we get to talk about hat-tricks.
Man, hat-tricks. Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey, unfortunately, is brought to you by hat-tricks. And I'll tell you what, if you really do want a real nice, cool beverage, place to go is hat-tricks before, during, or even after the game, especially before and after. And they have those great shake-and-bake chicken wings. Famous for those shake-and-bake chicken wings. I don't think there's a hockey team in the country, the coaching staff has not been there at least once.
Lightning keep the play in the Flyers zone. That's where it's been for much of this second period. Puck gets behind Schuster. He holds his ground, keeps the play on the line. Schultz dropping it back for Coburn. Voracek. I mentioned he was a 7th overall pick. That was of the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2007. Was a pass deflected off a skate. It hit Filppula in front. It's Raffl. His try blocked by Johnson. There's a reason why he's plus 17. Voracek centers in front. It's by Giroux's stick. Comes to the point. McDonald with a shot. It's wide as Raffl was trying to tip it in. Luke Schenn down the boards. Voracek.
Here's a hook.
Penalty upcoming to the Lightning, and it's fired wide by McDonald. Comes out of the zone. Lightning have outshot Philly 6-1 in the second period and have both their goals. But with 6 skaters on, the Flyers trying to make something happen here in a delayed penalty signal. Lawton plays it behind the net. Around it comes, and Stamkos controls to that shot advantage. And the 2-1 lead for the Lightning will be tested when we come back midway through the second.
Lighting up by 1, you're looking at Andrei Vasilevskiy, and why he's in goal is because Ben Bishop got hurt last night in Pittsburgh. And we're thinking it's in this play in the power play. You see him making that move to the right rather slowly and rather gingerly, and then he made one back to the left as well. Not as fluid as we see Ben make those saves. You see that there when he kicked it out to the left side. He wasn't feeling too well. He pulled himself after one period, and they brought up Vasilevskiy for this game tonight. And a little bit of a surprise for everybody that he gets the start, but he's played very well so far with the Lightning in the lead here. Now are shorthanded for the second time.
He's faced one shot here in the second period, beaten on the last shot he faced in the first period on the power play goal by Simmons. And that power play for the Flyers is called offside here. The penalty to Filppula for hooking at 10:43. The Back in Black 4-game plan presented by Chase scores you any 4 Saturday home games with a free Ryan Callahan Reebok official player t-shirt. Call 813-301-6600 or visit TampaBayLightning.com.
Something for the Bolts penalty killers is, Chief talked about it quite a bit, that Flyers like to get the puck back to the point, just throw it on net, so try and take that shot from the middle away. Then you also got to be conscious of Claude Giroux on the half wall.
Yeah.
Johnson and Killorn in front of Stralman and Hedman on the penalty killing unit right now for the Lightning. Giroux guides the play in. Hedman over to meet Voracek. Played in behind. Now Braden Schenn. Pass tracked down by Simmons. And the puck deflected out of play by Tyler Johnson with 1:12 remaining on the Filppula penalty. A chance of a lifetime yesterday and tomorrow sit side by side. The Daytona 500 this February 22nd. Tickets on sale now at Daytona500.com.
You've got to be quick to the puck. We talked about that at 5-on-5, but even on this penalty, this power play. You don't want to give, as you point out, Chris, that Claude Giroux too much time to make a play, because he's a wizard at that.
McDonald in the right spot to hold the play in, but was unable to keep that puck from bobbling off his stick. Now the puck fired away by Garrison, and the Flyers up yelling at Garrison after Johnson had put a puck in that Philadelphia bench earlier. That's one way to
shoot it at their heads. That'll keep them quiet for a while. They wake over there.
This is the former assistant coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Used to say that. Just rim it around about shin high and see if he wants to get in front of it. The guy's having a bit of a chuckle as Harrison was going by, and he fired that around. You get pressure on that defenseman's got to get his hand up, get the puck down, and one guy gets pressured, he's bobbling, then all the penalty killers can pressure.
Edmund challenged there by Simmons. Stroman takes over. Braden Shen leaning in on him now with 48 seconds to go on his penalty. Edmund getting to it. Shakes free and will lift the puck down the ice.
40 seconds, 40.
Strength, a veteran of many power plays in his career with Montreal and the Islanders, now with Philadelphia, and once again they're whistled in the offside.
I tell you, you make that play at the blue line, and Lightning didn't back off as quickly as they've had in the past. And you stay up there and force that guy to make a pass or to make another extra move, and you'll do that. They've done it twice now. Look where Hedman is. He'll stay right up at the blue line and not move back as fast. And force the offside. That's really important. You back off quickly, you're just allowing them a free trip to your offensive zone.
Philadelphia coming in with a power play percentage of 24%, third best in the league, over 29% overall. And of course they scored on their first chance of the goal by Simmons. Here's Couturier shooting, save. Vasilevsky found it through the traffic in front of him, and he covers it up for the whistle.
That is one of the toughest things for goaltenders, whether you're young or whether you're a 10-year veteran, is to find that puck. Look at all those guys in front of the net. Look at that. You got 2 Lightning and 2 Flyers there. You got to be able to find it, and he did. Followed it, tracked it all the way in, and was able to cover up on the rebound.
Well, for a big guy, a lot of goaltenders will stand up and try and look over the shoulders. He's hunched right down, looking below.
Vasilevsky 6'3", 207 pounds, and spent a lot of time talking with Franz Zahn, the goalie coach of the Lightning, about the differences in the KHL. You've got that Olympic-sized rink. You don't have that kind of traffic in front. As Filppula leaves the box, Lightning killed a penalty. And deflections and rebounds and traffic and all of those things are just part of the acclimation process that Vasilevsky's facing. Here's a drive, and it's on goal. A save by Schultz, by Vasilevsky, and the try by Schultz. Knocked free. Reed has it. Coburn, line, fires, and it's deflected wide off the glass. At Reed. Down he goes. Hedman kicks it along to Boyle. Lifts it off the boards to center. Filppula trying to step inside. Coburn nearly pulled off the move. Lightning on the change. Now gets settled into that defensive zone. Barberio plays it out to center, and the pass ahead to Callahan with 2 assists here in the second period. Puck taken over, though, by Ronaldo. Callahan back, going to leave it for Drouin. Poked free, and Ronaldo controls it in the Lightning zone. Warding off Drouin, and he shoved the boards by Drouin. We'll get a penalty to Jonathan Drouin, as Ronaldo gets back up on his feet, and he's fine. But the Philadelphia power play gets another opportunity here at 13:55.
Boarding most likely will be the call.
Tampa Bay, number 27, 2 minutes for boarding.
They're fighting for the possession of the puck. You see him right here. Second consecutive power play. They held Philadelphia to just 1 shot on that last one. They're doing a pretty good job of it.
Boyle digs it against Giroux. they'll realign here. Greg Dvorsky dropped the puck and then reacted like, well, we've got a false start.
Both these guys had good numbers in the faceoff in the first period.
Drew gets this one. Voracek moving it to Streit. Fakes the shot. And it's Giroux with Simmons side of the goal. Voracek settles the puck down. Voracek once again. His pass broken up by Paquette. Gets the puck back again though. Circles with it. Simmons behind the goal. Schen's out in front. Around the horn they go. Streit with a drive. Deflected through Vasilevsky. And wide of the goal. Schenn reached in with a tip. Streit unable to hold it in.
It's amazing how they're getting their shots through.
They got the shot that they wanted as Paquette was yanked down to the ice by Voracek. And Strawman will push it down the ice. A lot of teams looking for that high slot deflection. That's what they got, Chief.
Yeah, they've done it. They got their goal on it, and they've gotten a couple of pretty good opportunities this period on shots like that.
Flyers penetrate once again. It's Reed. He's got Garrison right on him. Coughs up the puck to Killorn. He'll go for a skate on with Johnson, who, of course, usually is paired with Andre Palat, out with that lower body injury. Lawton got it free for the Flyer power play. Reed into that corner, meets up with Carl to Lawton. He's got plenty of speed, and that's a commodity the Flyers were looking to add, and he's had that impact. Scored his first NHL goal in their last game against Carolina in a 5-1 win. 24 seconds to go with a Drouin penalty.
Yeah, he's basically the guy that has taken Vinny Lecavallier's spot on this roster.
Puck played in by Raffl. There's a shot by Schultz, turned aside by Vasilevsky. Corralled by Lawton. Ronaldo with a try, and it's gloved by Vasilevsky in a shot that was going wide of the net. He'll hang on. 4 seconds to go in the penalty.
Much better job on the penalty kill. And Philadelphia was guilty of not moving that puck quickly either. So often you think, oh, what a great penalty kill. It's the power play that can kill the penalty for you. If they're not moving it around and they're kind of standing still, it makes it easy to kill that penalty.
Good pressure, recognizing when someone's bobbling the puck. And
Callahan checks the time, leaves the puck for Hedman. Pass around for Drouin just as he steps out of the box, but Coburn was wise to that and intercepted. Well, the Lightning do kill the penalty. Flying it, thrown by Ronaldo. That's his specialty.
Why wouldn't you go get the puck then?
Couturier. Checked there by Stamkos. Ronaldo playing it back at the point to Coburn with the shot. It's well wide of the goal, and Callahan picks it up. Ronaldo will fire it back in. 3:36 to go in the second period. Lightning have had most of the play in the Philadelphia zone. Shots are 16-13 Flyers, but for the longest time they had just one shot on goal. Van de Velde on a steal. Works against Callahan. Drouin has it back for the Lightning. He'll race to center with Stamkos and Callahan. They clicked on the game-tying goal. Callahan with a hit in behind the net on McDonald. Voracek nicely stopped there by Killorn. Brown trying to skitter in there, joined by Paquette. Hands it now to Killorn. On the quick stop, trying to feed it back in front. And Killorn works to come up with it. Strawman the drive, and it's scooped up by Mason. And we get a whistle. With 2:49 to go, period number 2. And Tampa Bay leading 2-1.
Lighting up by 1. Let's take a look now at the Lightning's upcoming schedule presented by Steak and Shake. From here, the Lightning will leave right after the game to head up to North New Jersey. They'll play the Devils on Friday, then travel over to the Island to play the Islanders Saturday, then back home next Tuesday, the 23rd, against Sidney Crosby, who should be back from the mumps by then, on Tuesday night. And then the Christmas break.
And Lightning in a stretch of 9 out of 12 on the road. Flyers have a stretch of road games coming up, an 8-game trip. Here's a backhand try just sent wide by Raffl. Somebody's got to be home for the holidays, Chief. It seems like every team the Lightning are playing are in the midst of a schedule where they're on the road quite a bit. Out comes Kucherov with Filppula. Nice poke check by Grossman at the line. Giroux stopped by Filppula as well as Kucherov. They send in Johnson, leaving it back for Filppula, pried away by Giroux. Puck gets in behind Strawman as Voracek gets to it. Lightning pick it up from there. Strawman shovels it ahead to Boyle. He'll tap it in the zone. He'll take on Coburn, and now Schultz coming across, and Boyle throws the hit. Lawton. Simmons couldn't get it by Hedman.
That's a pretty good hook by Simmons. He got away with it.
Had that going all night.
Yeah.
Puck played by Morrow on the line. Kept it in for a moment. Away comes Simmons. And it jabbed away by Hedman. Schultz lugs it in, leaving it. Braden Shed shooting, and it's deflected over the net. Comes back to the blue line. Coburn holding it in. Simmons sliding it down the board. Strawman there with Hedman. Intercepted by Simmons. The turnaround. Hooks the pass. Lawton the drive. Sliding block. Smothered there by Hedman. It just dropped out of his equipment, and the puck is covered by Vasilevsky.
Well, he's the one that made the mistake in that bad play out through the middle, and he had to recover. He got over there quicker to recover, but he tried to get the puck out of trouble and try to flip it up, and was knocked down by Simmons, and then everybody converged on him, and what an opening for the Flyers to get a shot on goal, and Hedman just really recovered quickly. .112 remains here, lighting up by 2-1, but game's kind of really slowed down at this point. Actually, that plays to the Flyers' strength. They don't have the speed to match the Lightning. If they don't use their speed, then it makes it a more even game for them.
Umberger checked in the corner. Garrison and Stamkos on the scene. Puck squirts away back to Andrei Vasilevsky. He'll cover it up with just under a minute to go in this second period. Stay tuned for the Gulf Coast Honda Dealers second intermission report. Chris Stigman will be visiting with Steven Stamkos, Lightning captain. We'll take you around the league on a busy night in the NHL. Highlights and stats as well. Lightning off after tonight. They'll have tomorrow off. Practice Thursday, as Chief noted, up in New Jersey, and taking on the Devils on Friday, and then the Islanders Saturday. But a couple of days off, and Ben Bishop been talking to the media earlier today, said we'll see where things stand on Thursday when it's time to hit the practice rink once again. Pass by Callahan is deflected, comes to Grossman. John Cooper earlier today said Bishop will be reevaluated on the weekend. So we'll see when that comes and how that process goes. Couturier tied up by Callahan. Schuster gets away with the puck. 20 seconds to go in the period. Puck comes off the ledge of the boards behind Stamkos. Fired back out. And Garrison has his stick on it. Recovered by Reed. Cutting through, Claude Giroux here in the final seconds. His shot is played away by Schuster. Tried to center out in front, blocked by Garrison, and that'll do it for period number 2. So the Lightning trailed 1-0 coming in, and very early in the period got a goal from Steven Stamkos, from Drouin and Callahan at 1:50, and then Tyler Johnson has given the Lightning the lead. His 10th goal from Kucherov and Callahan at 6:34. City, Philadelphia, as the Lightning hope to leave here with a great view of a 2-point effort. They lead 2-1 going into the third period as we have a look at our chase review through 40 minutes of play tonight.
As you see there, the chances and the shots are basically even, and Lightning got a little bit better on the face-offs. They're starting to climb back up there now. They're at 47% when they were at under 30 before. So when you take a look at that, that's probably one of the big reasons why they've got that 2-goal lead, or that 1-goal lead rather, getting 2 goals in that period, because they have the possession of the puck a little bit longer.
Andrei Vasilevsky readying himself for a big third period here in his NHL debut. The Lightning looking to protect this lead. Chris Stigman going into the third.
With a young goaltender to get a lot of shots, and you'd like to keep it that way if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Steven Stamkos touched on, and the guys talk about in the dressing room, you want to make sure that zone time, getting the puck in deep, and it's not about trying to score goals, it's about making the Flyers, making it hard for them to score a goal, making them come 200 feet, making them play below the hash marks in their own end.
And the Lightning having to do the job without Ben Bishop, without Andre Palat, without Radko Gudas. And John Cooper has switched up line combinations, and they've changed a little bit on the defense. Chief, you look at that at all in terms of how they've been able to adjust to each other, maybe a fresh look?
Well, you know what? When that happens, you have to keep it simple. You can't get too fancy because you're not exactly sure where that guy's going to be, and maybe that's what they're looking for.
Here's a pass for Morrow, and it was off his stick. Conley jockeying for position and trying to get there as the play compacted by Andre Schuster. Carried now by Wayne Simmons to center. He'll chip it off the glass. Heads in after Garrison, who spins off the check. Gets it to Nikita Kucherov. Lead pass just out of Morrow's reach. And he will be unable to change. No, Mason out to play it. So icing waved off. Lightning will get their change here in the opening minute. Giroux through center. Played it in off Hedman. Gets it back. Chopped in behind the net to Voracek. Back for Claude Giroux. Here comes Streit down the boards. And Hedman chips it away. And in and out of the Philadelphia bench.
The guys just having a little chuckle. The puck just rolled right down across the benches here.
Looked like it rolled right along the wall there.
Yes. couple close calls in here. We've got about 520 pounds combined in here, so I think we'd be a good wrestling team.
Chris Therien.
Chris Therien, yeah, we could be the natural disasters. Chris Therien, big physical defenseman back in the day, and got to keep your head up in here. There's not a lot of room to lean back.
Johnson pokes it ahead to Kucherov. Has room. He'll fire this time, and he'll send it over the net. It's hooked back to center ice. Voracek with it. Nice play by Hedman at the line. And Johnson hitting up ice. Tell you what, while players have struggled in this Lightning lineup, Tyler Johnson just plays. He just keeps playing.
He's a hockey player. You know, I mean, guy is just a tremendous player, tremendous competitor.
Well, we got a lot of heart. It's not all about the size of the youngster, but as you mentioned, he shows up night in and night out, and it doesn't matter what kind of game you want to play.
Drouin back to Barberio, firing wide. It came in front. Reed just got it away from the clutches of Ryan Callahan. Pass out on the wing, and Couturier getting it to center. Played back in deep in the zone. Couturier leaving it behind the net. Grossman around to Umberger. Came over from Columbus for Scott Hartnell. Puck is played to center. Coburn had it hit him off the back. Callahan forcing the play back in deep in the Flyers zone. Schultz has it there. New wave of Lightning skaters on the ice. And Schuster got there in time to take control of the puck. Killorn out for Paquette. He'll play it in. Mason takes a look. And he'll play it out off of Belmar. Always get a little nervous, Chief, when the goalie's not rimming that puck around. He's trying to pick a guy out on the boards with traffic. Belmar playing it ahead. Now Ronaldo shakes free. Couldn't get by Garrison.
What happens is that you got your player, or mainly your defense, moving in, and it doesn't happen. You get caught.
Garrison brings the puck to center. Flips it across for Conley, knocked down by Belmar. Belmar, 29 years old, signed as a free agent. Played on the championship team of the Swedish Elite League. Also helped France reach the quarterfinals of the World Championship. So he caught the notice of a lot of scouts with his play last year. Raffl was decked there by Brendan Morrow on a stiff hit. And Morrow absorbs a hit from Giroux. Comes back to grab the puck. Flyer captain giving it to Streit. Lugs it in. Goes to the backhand. Had it played away by Morrow. Saved though by Giroux. Voracek dances away from Hedman. Wheels it out in front. Back to Grossman. Angles it off the back of the goal. Giroux can get to it there. Nearly 4 minutes gone here in the third period. Raffl turns, fires, and it's steered away by Vasilevsky.
This line's been out there too long, and they're going to have to stay out there now with an icing.
Score a Holy Hog barbecue package this Tuesday at 7:30. The Lightning taking on the Penguins. Packages start as low as $75. Buy now at TampaBayLightning.com/tickets.
I think those two guys have had a few barbecue meals in their career.
You had a couple of barbecue meals back in the day, I assume. Even now. You guys are too funny.
A lot of penalty minutes in that box as well. I'm glad you two are getting along.
It's when you're done, there's no issues. Even when the game is over, there's no issues. And good time out by head coach John Cooper, giving his guys a rest. One unfortunate thing, when they change the rules, you spell to ice the puck as many times as you wanted, and you're able to change.
Vasilevsky getting the call with Bishop hurt last night, and fortunately, unlike when the Lightning ran into a spate of injuries on that Western Canada trip, getting Cedric Paquette from the East Coast in the United States out to Winnipeg wasn't easy. Getting Nabokov backing him up tonight, but just the trip from Syracuse down to Philadelphia pretty easy.
Well, he's been pretty good lately. He's won 7 of his last 8. He's only allowed 2 goals in his last 4 starts down there, but it's a huge difference for the American League to the National League, and he's handled it quite well so far.
Lightning went through about 6 or 7 weeks where all they do was welcome players back from injury. And Hedman and Conley didn't lose anybody to injury. In fact, sent Nemestikov down, traded Eric Brewer, and that was it. They had the same group with them the whole time from the loss in Minnesota until recently. Here's a try, and Vasilevsky reaching out with a glove. He got it knocked away from Scott Lawton's reach. In and around that Lightning net as Carl pokes it in deep. He'll follow the play in there. Johnson was backing up the play and was able to hold the Flyers at bay momentarily. Puck deflects to Simmons at center. Grabbed now by Lawton. Walks in. Dances through. Stopped by Vasilevsky as he stretched out the left leg. Got the glove involved. The flexibility on display there.
Boy, what a big save that was. Lightning backed right off. Lawton made a nice move, and Vasilevsky beat him. Gee.
We told you early on, Vasilevsky picked 19th, Lawton 20th in the same draft in that first round, 2012.
Yeah, did you see that? People just backing right off, and I don't know if you're not supposed to play the man defensively or what, but they've been giving up a few of those opportunities.
I think for Barberio going down to try and block the shot, and then he gets caught, and then not enough back pressure, but a good save by Vasilevsky, as you touched on, moving over and still being able to keep his body somewhat upright as going across and leaning forward also.
Grossman, watched closely by Callahan. Drouin steals the pass. Boy, if he plays for any length of time with Stamkos and Callahan, his puck retrieval skills are going to help that trio.
He's really strong with his stick. He's hard to have that puck picked off his stick.
Now when Garrison, Couturier coming up with a puck, back out to McDonald. Reed works against Callahan, a pair of 24s. It's played back to Garrison. George Gwozdecky, Lightning assistant coach, was talking earlier today about how Drouin just continues to do the right things and starting to get rewarded with 3 points in the last 5 games. And getting the opportunity to play with Stamkos and company as he plays that puck smartly off the glass to center, and it comes back his way.
Well, it's a good opportunity. He's obviously got a ton of skill and a lot of talent. It's just recognizing when to make a play, when not to, and just you have a little bit less time than you do the lower levels.
Barberio's pass picked off. Helmar playing it back in behind Van de Velde, and the play is whistled out offside. 13-17 to go here in the third period, and the Lightning protect a 2-1 lead.
Well, the Lightning up by 1. Let's take a look at tonight's high def highlight brought to you by H.H. Gregg. And it was that big save that Vasilevsky made. Watch right here. He comes in, waits him, gets that glove up on top of the pad rather than down in front of it. And it's not sometimes as how many saves you make as when you make them. And that was a big save for the Lightning because they were up by 1 and they let that young man walk in. And that's our high def highlight brought to you by H.H. Gregg. And Vasilevsky made a big save there.
Stralman lead pass trying to spring Kucherov. That was deflected by Schultz. The Lightning get to it. And the play is behind Hedman. Stralman comes across for it. Now looks for Filppula on that stretch pass. Filppula going to pick up somebody late. He's shoved to the ice by Schultz. And a penalty upcoming. Hooking is going to be the call against the Flyers at 7:06. A big call. The Lightning benefit as Filppula was taken down.
Philadelphia, number 55, 2 minutes, hooking.
I don't know about this. Take a look here. Well, you know what? This is a penalty that drives me crazy. You just touch a guy on the gloves, it's automatically hooking. But you can cross-check a guy in front of the net all night long and not get anything. That's what happened. He touched the gloves. Boy, the Lightning get their 4th power play. They're 0 for 3 at this point.
And they get things started with Conley. Stamkos in the corner. Drouin behind the net. Around to Filppula. The pass to Drouin. Stamkos wide fires. Saved by Mason on the one-timer. We haven't seen that a lot lately. A pass back to Stralman. Was able to save the play with a skate. And now prevents the breakaway attempt by Couturier.
I don't see any urgency in this power play. That's the thing that's kind of upsetting me. You kind of go through the motions. If you get a little bit more intensity on your power play, you might be able to get a little bit of a cushion here.
Conley starts it in. Filppula getting it to Stamkos. Around to Stralman. Hands it now to Filppula. The youngster Lawton getting a chance to kill the penalty here for the Flyers with his speed. Sure, they're looking for him to try to create something. Filppula playing it back to Drouin. Stralman. Stamkos wants it. One-timer taken away by Coburn. Played back to Stralman. Round to Drouin. Finds Stamkos, and it just dribbled off his stick. Pass deflected on its way to him. Conley got the better of that bump behind the net with McDonald. It's cleared out. 36 seconds to go on the penalty to Schultz.
A lot of urgency, but a good job moving the puck around and just keep it to the outside a little bit more and can't force that pass through the seams.
That's what that defense wants you to do, though. Keep it to the outside. They gotta move their feet as well as the puck.
Callahan's shot was snuffed out. It's cleared out by Luke Schenn. 13 seconds remaining on this Lightning power play opportunity. Away comes Hedman, pursued by Couturier. Continues on into the zone. And he'll play it down the board. Schultz release from the box as the Flyers come up with it. It's played ahead to Schultz. And he'll stay on for the moment. Johnson comes back for the Lightning. So Philadelphia back to full strength, killing the penalty. Still down a goal. Here's Johnson. Racing in. Saved by Mason. What a burst by Tyler Johnson and a stop by Mason.
He has that quick step. It looked like he was going to come through the middle, and he changed it up and went out wide. And Flyers were slow to make that shift or make that crossover. And Mason had to make a big save there. He just couldn't quite get it past that glove.
Well, after a power play, there was a little lethargic. Tyler Johnson, anything but that, showing a burst of speed, going from first to third. Getting that speed wide, just couldn't get it up on the backhand.
Well, they scored that go-ahead goal by Johnson just after that power play to Schenn was over.
Braden Schenn took that pass in the breadbasket and gives it right back to Grossman. As the Lightning try to get the forecheck set up here, Morrow gets a piece of a pass. He's on with Boyle and Conley. Flyers slowly work their way to center. It's dumped in. Simmons bumped in there as he collides with Morrow. Garrison leaves it now for Brett Conley. Flyer defense gets it back. Simmons played well by Schuster. And the puck pinballed back in the zone. Play offside just past the midway point of the third period. 2-1 Lightning. Centers want to remind you to tune in Friday night. The Lightning continue their trip with a matchup against the Devils in New Jersey at the Prudential Center. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with Lightning Live pregame. The Bolts and the Devils Friday night right here on Sun Sports.
9:56 remains in regulation. Lots of time left. You can't get too cautious in that defensive end.
Drouin plays the puck in, and Giroux, you could just see he wants to take control of this game for Philadelphia. Coburn with a pass ahead to Raffl, and Schuster right there to close that gap, something he talks about concentrating on quite a bit. They look for Stamkos. He'll pick it up in the corner. Beats up with Coburn. Drouin getting to it. Back to Stamkos. Fired away by Coburn for Giroux. His pass was blunted by Callahan. Raffl will feed it in deep in the zone. Garrison back for it. Leaving it for Schuster. Callahan, a pair of assists tonight. He's closing in at 500 games. This is game number 498 for him. Reed swings away. He'll shoot the puck in. Vasilevsky checks the traffic. Finds Barberio. McDonald at the blue line holding it in. Wrist shot blocked by Barberio. Got it free, and Reed gets a stick on it for Philadelphia. Matt Reed out to McDonald with the wrist shot. It's wide. His shooting angle was taken away. Now Johnson burrows in there against Couturier. Held in by the Flyers once again. McDonald shoots, missed the net. He was looking for the tip with Umberger in front. Lightning do shovel it out. McDonald coming across for it. Pass over for Couturier. Settles it down. Lets the shot go wide. Kucherov getting to it for the Lightning, and it's carried out at center ice. Lightning with a quick change going on. Mark Streit brings the play in, drives it, and the whistle blew in the offside as he wound up for that shot. Tonight's broadcast code of the game is Thunderbug. Simply visit lightningfanrewards.com and enter tonight's code in the Game Day Challenge. Win tickets or earn points through trivia, polls, predictions, and more. It's all on lightningfanrewards.com. Log on now.
What's the mood like on the bench down there, Dish?
Pretty calm. No panic whatsoever, but
cutting in Mason, a save on Paquette. Brown with a try from the angle, and it's turned aside by Mason. Out comes Chris Vandevelde in the zone. His try from the angle is gobbled up by Vasilevsky, and we get a whistle with Ronaldo trying to stir things up around the net as usual.
Well, he's got no really, you won't have any dance partners on there. But here's that quick burst of speed. It actually got help because it hit the linesman or the referee, and it went right to Paquette, who was able to come right down into the zone. A little bit of a poke check, as well as having that left pad down real quickly, helped Mason make the save.
Well, clearly frustrated Paquette in an opportunity, but that's something they're talking about on that bench, is that how that play was created. Up the boards, little chip, speed. Very simple. Nothing too fancy. Lightning got to get back on their toes a little bit more and in the offensive zone. Not sit back.
Use that referee to slow the puck down.
Whatever it takes. Well, that number certainly has to please Lightning fans. We saw a moment ago scoring chances, 3-1 Lightning. That's how you defend that lead in the third period.
Exactly.
Morrow stepped into by Luke Schenn. Puck up for grabs. Hedman comes across for it. He'll tap it in the air. Morrow takes another hit from Simmons. Boy, he's been taking a pounding in this third period, but he is determined to get the job done. Interesting conversation with him. We presented one of his comments in Lightning Live pregame, and just how to prepare for this getting off to a good start in a back-to-back. He says, look, we know what they're talking about on the other side. They know what they're saying about the Lightning and how they prepare. And he says lately it just hasn't been good enough. And he, veteran voice, and he doesn't mince any words.
No, he says we got to worry about how we do it. We don't have to worry about what they do. That's You're right. It's the guy that's been there a long time.
Puck played in by Garrison.
Braden Shen just cross-checked Garrison in the back, and he was wondering why no call.
Garrison moving it to Stamkos. Cross for Schuster. He knew Voracek was in the vicinity. Just simply tipped it away from him. Passes by Raffl's stick. He tangles with Schuster. Centering pass. Garrison wise to that. He got a stick on it. Intended for Giroux. And out comes Drouin. He's got Callahan with him. Callahan double team. Can't get a shot away. Giroux battled to get back on the play defensively. Voracek and the Flyers with their top line on. Voracek pulls up. Hangs onto it. On the weave, it's Giroux shooting a save. And Vasilevsky a second save. The puck is loose. He covers it up with his blocker. Gets the whistle as he stopped Raffl in tight. And a couple of big stops for the youngster who's not had a lot to deal with here in the last few minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's been really sharp and in making saves when he's had to. This one here on a rebound and then covering up, and he just couldn't quite get the handle on it. And finally, the heck with that stick. I'll just use the other hand.
And after an opportunity going the Lightning's way, and the Flyers coming back and talk about quite a bit his ability to track the puck, and he just finds he stays with it and ends up dropping his stick to get his blocker on it. But whatever he got to do to make the save, and he stuck with it.
Well, Franjean talked about the competitive nature of this young man. We could talk about his skills, his size, the whole package, but the competitive nature really kind of sets him apart. We've seen him battling to see pucks through traffic in situations where he's not accustomed to really fully yet here in North America, and here he is in the NHL. And battling to get the job done. It's chipped in by Umberger. Couturier getting in there. Trailed by Johnson, centering pass, and it's spoiled by Kucherov. Kucherov takes over in a 1-on-2 at center. Going to split through the defense, cuts it on goal, saved by Mason. Rebound comes right back to Kucherov. Barberio with the shot, now in front for Kucherov. He lost the handle on it, taken away by Couturier. Kucherov this close to a couple of spectacular highlights.
Made the great defensive play in the Lightning zone to get the puck out of trouble.
Reed battles through a check. Centers deflected back off Barberio. And Vasilevsky had the stick down. Quickly covers it up with 5:30 to go in the third. And Kucherov nearly provided a cushion for the Lightning.
5:30 remains in regulation. Lightning still clinging to that one-goal lead. Let's take a look at tonight's diamond performance presented by Ackerman Jewelers. And it's Andrei Vasilevsky on his very first NHL game. Having to come here from Syracuse this morning, gets the nod in the goal, and he's done a really very good job. Facing 23 shots for Philadelphia, only allowing the one goal thus far. And that's our diamond performance presented by Ackerman Jewelers.
Look at those eyes. He is ready for the drop of the puck between Brian Boyle and Claude Giroux.
Focused.
Indeed. Garrison back for the puck. Around to Morrow. He'll play it in from center. And it reaches Mason. He'll cover with pressure from Conley.
You know, one of the things, and that's what really can help our team, is that goaltender making those plays and freezing the puck. If you keep it moving, sometimes you can create more pressure on yourself for the other team keeping it in the zone. Anytime you want to relieve pressure, you want to get a change of personnel, just freeze the puck, and you start over in the face-off circle again. These two guys here have been the best face-off guys for their respective clubs.
Big challenge for Boyle. He's out there against Giroux consistently, as you mentioned, and pulls it back to the Lightning zone, but they get control and chipping it to center. And it's Braden Shen to dump it in.
What's hard about this with Vasilevsky with defense, they're not sure exactly what he's going to do and how he handles the puck. You know, so used to Bishop being there that you don't have to go to the corners and Bishop will give it to you. With Vasilevsky, you're not quite sure exactly how he's going to do it.
Conley starts it in. Boyle with him. Here's the shot handled by Mason, and he'll get a whistle. But Chief, just to follow up quickly, he's been very conservative about even coming out and handling that puck. Do you think that's part of it, where that just eliminates any confusion?
Well, yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, the defense for the Lightning are so adept at not having to go back real fast for the puck because they got Bishop back there, who's almost like another defenseman. But you got a guy in here, you got to get back quicker because you're right. You know, he's not going to get out there. He just wants to stop the puck. You get back there and handle the puck when it's outside the goal crease, it's not on him. That's what you want your defense to do.
Well, you got a bit of a language barrier also, guys. And you can speak a little bit of English, but not the best, so communication can be a problem. So you want to simplify as much as possible.
Not likely he's going to join his goaltending mates, Nabokov and Bishop, in picking up an assist in this game. Here's Callahan in front. Boy, he had Stamkos, and it was just by his stick. Vasilevsky allowing Barberio to handle it. 4:12 and counting to go in this third period. Lightning were outshot 10-7 in the first period. They held the Flyers to one shot in the second and scored twice for quite a spell in that second period. Shots right now 23-21 Philadelphia. Puck is sent back toward the point. It ends up being an icing called against the Flyers. Prorated season tickets are limited. Season ticket members get the same great seat, exclusive benefits, and special discounts. Tickets start at just $18 per game. Call 813-301-6600 or visit TampaBayLightning.com.
It's just the kind of period, if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you like this kind of flow. A lot of action end to end. A lot of stops and goes. A little frustrating for a team trying to get back in this game.
Valtteri Filppula. Back to Schuster. Strike with it. And he's bumped right out of there by Tyler Johnson. The pass to Filppula. And he drops it back at the defense. Schuster with a shot. Handled by Mason. And he awkwardly hangs onto it as he knew he had a enemy stick flashing by. It was Nikita Kucherov's.
Well, the face-off to win. Good thing. And they just took that quick shot. And a little bit high. Of course, he tried to get it past that Blauer coming up and checking, and he got it a little bit too high. A little bit easier save for Mason. You're really trying to hope for that deflection, but the key of it is getting it into the goaltender, not getting it blocked halfway there.
Strawman waits for the zone to clear. He'll play it right back in. Voracek. Belted there by Morrow, but makes the play. And it's Luke Schenn with a try that's turned aside by Vasilevsky. Little dipping shot there. Morrow gets it up the boards by Luke Schenn. And they wave off icing.
Good shift by that line. Morrow getting in, getting a couple hits on the forecheck and getting off.
Barberio gets to the puck. Now it's in the hands of Callahan. Stamkos behind him. Callahan around, trying to jam it home. Stopped by Mason. And Killorn couldn't get to that loose puck in front. It's covered up.
Well, I don't know how he was pulled away from that. It was a nice back check by Voracek, but watch it as it comes around. It just rolls there, and he was trying to get it. He just took him right out. I guess he just had the stick all hooked up. A nice play. Well, he had the stick on the hands. That wasn't that hooking.
Strike feeding it ahead to Reed, sending it in for Umberger. Barberio with position on him. Umberger, a big body in there, now joined by Reed. Killorn peels back. He's able to chip it down the boards, and it curls back toward Mason, but will miss him. We'll get an icing called against Tampa Bay, so we get the big face-off time here with 2:24 to go.
Not able to get a change. Head coach Sean Cooper for the Lightning trying to get Kucherov's line back out there. Face-off's also important, and not only just tying up, but not trying to win the face-off. Giroux, as you touched on, Chief, one of the best in the business and one of the best for the Flyers, to try and time up and have your wingers and defensemen try and jump in and help out Steven Stamkos.
Net is empty for the Flyers. 6 skaters on here with 2:24 to go, and Philadelphia down a goal. Giroux winning the face-off. Simmons Knocked down by Killorn, fed in front, knocked down by Stamkos, and Callahan comes away with it. Callahan trying to get the red line, backhands toward the net, just sends it wide of the empty net. Killorn from the deep angle. Feeds it in front, and ends up in the hands of Braden Shen. He fires it across to the corner. Hedman back around up the boards with 2 minutes to go. Streit gets it back. Feeds it to Giroux. Back to Streit, the shot, and it's deflected away by Kucherov. Streit didn't get good wood on it. It's fed back out to Giroux. Couturier with it, back for Simmons. Giroux to Streit, doesn't have the angle. Giroux fires, that's tipped, and it's turned aside. Lightning get control. Strawman got it under full control, played it off the glass, no icing, and Streit getting to it. Lightning able to get a change. Giroux gets the puck. Back for Streit. Hands it now to Couturier. Crowd getting anxious here, looking for the Flyers to try to tie it up here as Couturier shoots it in. Carl in the corner. Slammed into by Braden Shen. The pass to the point. Streit with it. To Giroux. Traffic developing in front. Under a minute to go. Turnaround by Voracek. Blocked by Paquette. In behind the net, Garrison getting a stick on it. Voracek gets it back. Knocked away. Chipped free by Johnson. Here comes Paquette to center. Winds his way to the red line. Feeding it to Filppula. He'll shoot and score! Valtteri Filppula makes it 3-1 with 41.8 seconds to go.
What a heads-up play by Paquette. Here's a young guy. He just controlled the play. Didn't panic. Made sure they got it over the red line. I thought he was going to try and dump it in then, but he just saw it. He had Filppula on his left wing, or right wing, excuse me. He just fed it to him, and Filppula just calmly puts it in the middle of the net. But tremendous play on the part of Paquette to move that puck out of there.
A lot more patience beyond his years, and big block shot before that. A little patience and not icing the puck. A lot of guys, the little young players especially, get a little excited. They get near that red line, and patience and poise to pass it over to Filppula to give him an empty netter.
Paquette and Johnson the assists. Filppula's 6th goal at 19-18. The Lightning in front 3-1. Mason back in net. Tampa Bay coming into this third period 13-0-1 when protecting a lead in the third. And in fact, when they're tied or leading in the third period, they have a commanding record of 19-0-3. They're going to add to it here. It would appear with 10 seconds to go as McDonald shooting, and it deflects off the glass stanchion on the back of the net. Hedman gets the puck away, and that'll do it. Andrei Vasilevskiy with 23 saves wins in his NHL debut. The Lightning pick up their 6th win in a row against the Philadelphia Flyers. They're now up to 43 points.